Breaking news on Babylon, the Black Dragon Guild has decided to attack the 14th floor of the tower. They are confident and ready to show off the skills of a top-class guild. The Black Dragon sadly once again returned empty-handed, and once again the reason for Black Dragon's setback is none other than that day main character, which is the number 1 that ranked Hunter. Once again, Flame Emperor was able to beat the boss on his own. The Black Dragon greet Mr. Flame Emperor, and the Black Dragon answered that without fail, he had once again set a new record, and since the appearance of the tower, and until now, Mr. Flame Emperor is still the only one to defeat a boss on their own. The Black Dragon asked Mr. Flame if he had a few work enough, and he had to change his freaking title first, and the Black Dragon said he is talking about Mr. Flame Emperor. He also asked Mr. Flame that instead of him using shitty nickname, and the Flame Master asked him that what kind of name is Flame Emperor, and might as well just call him the Plaque, which is fucking embarrassing for him. And in Korean, plaque in Korean is an insult that can mean screwing and fucking around or causing trouble. The hunter said he's gonna find the guy who made the nickname and torture for him as he apologized as well. To be able to say whatever he wants as the whole world is watching, and he was asked to watch his mouth, and he doesn't think there's anything wrong with his personality, and he is already a legendary level hunter. And the hunter guy said he wants to be like the Flame Emperor, and he was asked if he is really a Flame Emperor fan, and if he is seriously protecting him for that, and he is only stating facts, and asked who doesn't know what he is like, and the broadcasting companies already know, but they are still allowing it, and he wants to be like Flame Emperor as well. One of the hunters said he doesn't know how Sainty can date him with his personality, and as that was the reason why she's called the Saint, and the lady screamed and said Saint is dating the Emperor, in which the hunter said his friend, who was also a hunter, said he saw them both together. The young hunter said he wanted to be like Flame Emperor too, and the hunter asked the other person that what are you talking about, that Saint's her friend, and said it is not true. Gong-Ja said he wants to be like the Emperor too, as he said it continuously, and then Mr. Flame Emperor must be nice to have everyone interested in every word he says, and he said he heard he has a lot of assets and he is so jealous. If the world was a Cineval, a person like him would definitely be the main character, and he would just be an extra. And as for a Flame Emperor, there are many aspiring hunter who look up to you and try their best, awakening soon after entering the tower and is early defeating a boss monster that Black Dragon has tried to defeat for 10 years, less than a month after Hunter, who literally writers legends. Please tell your aspiring fans the key to success in one phrase. The Black Dragon signed, and Mr. Flynn said he really just gonna say a few words, so those guys should figure it out. Those who will succeed, said by the Black Dragon. But don't get in my way, even if you succeed, said by Mr. Flame. The Black Dragon said he will kill Mr. Flame Emperor, and he asked him out of annoyance that what did he mean by that, and Flame Emperor. With that, they then will end the broadcast as they address the viewers who are watching the news. Mr. Flame was sad, and he said if it is okay to just ignore people when he become that great, and said further that it was the reporter who was being ignored, but it felt like he was the one, and Saint thought that if he just had one decent skill like the Flame Emperor, then he wouldn't need to live in that damn studio, and he won't be looked down on for being the lowest F-class hunter without a single skill. The Black Dragon said he wants to become just like the Flame Emperor because the Black Dragon is so jealous of the Flame Emperor. The Black Dragon thought in his mind and said he wanted to succeed with his own skills too, in which he wondered how great it would be if the Flame Emperor's skill was his. A scene that he has only seen 1,000 times in videos, and asked if it could be a skill card, and which is an unsightly envy that is yet to be found in history. The tower praises him for his achievements, and which is different from what he saw in the videos, and he thought the reason why should he care about its tone when he just received a skill card, and that was the moment he had been waiting for ever since he got there. On top of that, a gold card is an S-rank skill in which generating a skill card if he wants to become with an effect to activate automatically upon his death, and after dying to the enemy, he can copy one of their skills and make it his, but he cannot copy a skill from targets that have already killed him previously. Because skills are randomly copied, and he can copy one of the skills of someone. The tower appeared in that world without a notice, and the Saint could see the horizon from anywhere on Earth. Those with nothing to lose entered the tower first and saw its insides. Each floor of the tower was filled with monsters from other worlds. A few of those who entered were chosen by the tower and received a skill, and those who heard the rumors flocked to the tower and started hunting for the monsters. The Black Dragon had a headache, and he told Mr. Flame to move and said, and he asked him what is all that all about. Then Mr. Flame said he was really acting nice with his head that was hurt. The Black Dragon told Mr. Flame that if someone saw him they should believe that he is innocent, and Mr. Flame poisoned the drink Miss Saint drank. Then Miss Saint had a stomach ache and she said, "What, Mr. Flame was going to try to feed me?" Mr. Flame said if it wasn't for his skill, he would have been in a lot of trouble. Then he said it is a misunderstanding. He just wanted to clear the tower as a team with you here. Miss Saint replied and said that's what she thought too, but she was wrong. Mr. Flame Empire begged Miss Saint to let them talk so that he can explain what really happened. The Black Dragon was wondering if Mr. Flame and Miss Saint weren't dating, and that sounds good and more professional. But he had to decide the rules of the conversation, and he said he will ask Flame Emperor some questions, and all he just needs to do is nod to answer. Miss Saint is still feeling the pain from the poison Flame Emperor gave her to drink, and she was really suffering from it. Then Flame told Miss Saint that he had a lie detection skill, that she shouldn't try to lie to him, and that if she answered all her questions, he might give her the antidote. And he asked Miss Saint to ask her to kill him, and he said if it was the witch from Black Dragon that has achieved rank, but his attitude is still the same. He said further that he really is not like the other guys. Mr. Flame said that the kind of hero that humanity needs at that moment, as he said goodbye to Saint Isabella. After the scene where he grabbed Saint Isabella's neck and had her killed, the Black Dragon shouted "murderous psychopath" to the Flame Emperor. He said he had to get out, and he uses his power on getting out to Saint Isabella, but Mr. Flame said he thought he chased all the rats out of the area, but there was still one left, and the Black Dragon said those are the eyes of a murderer, and asked him how many he has killed until that very moment, and asked him if it was 10 or 100. Then he fell down and ropes of his shoes removed, and he said "my foot," and Mr. Flame laughed and pressed Black Dragon foot with his shoes. Black Dragon pleased him, but Mr. Flame said then the reason why he ran, but all he did was just to beg him, as the Flame Emperor said if he had seen anything by pleading him to let him go. He asked him again that what did he see. He said that so you called me Flame Emperor, and claimed that you didn't see whatever you didn't see, so he grabbed his neck, and he said I almost want to believe you, and if I was a complete moron. That is, Black Dragon said I won't tell anyone please. Mr. Flame said if you don't want to be Saint talk. Mr. Flame asked the Black Dragon which bastard sent him, and if he was from Black Dragon too as well. Then he thought to his mind and said the world was entered by Flame Emperor. Mr. Flame said lie detector skill, and that is the kind of hero that humanity needs right then, as he killed Saint Isabella and cast her into the fire. He said you have it, if you use it you see it. Nobody. Mr. Flame asked what is lie detecting skill, and asked him if he killed a person without any evidence, and just because they were a little suspicious. The Flame Emperor told him that the saint was really trying to kill him, and if he didn't kill her that day, she would poison her the next day. The Flame Emperor told him he knew she will do that, and since he was crying about the lie detector skill, he guessed he was really innocent about it, and Gong-Ja thanked him for believing him. He said he just need to die if he is not seeing anything, as he cried that he doesn't need or deserve to die. At the Babylon News, the Black Dragon Guild is set on clearing floor 40, and they said that they would show them the skills of the top guild that day, and unfortunately, they came back empty-handed again. Then Gong-Ja woke up from his past to see that the Flame Emperor had solo cleared the boss again. Mr. Flame was curious about what happened and wondered how he returned home, as the Flame Emperor accused him why he was calling him with such a dumbass nickname when he had a prosper name. He knew everyone was saying the same things as yesterday, as skill card open, which is one of the most trash skill of the century, which has effect of automatically activated when killed by an enemy, and copy one of the skills of the enemy that killed him and make it theirs, and he thought that that was the reason Flame Emperor's skill he copied when he died. And also because of the returner's winding clock that has an effect that activated automatically on his death, and he will return 24 hours back in time from the moment of his death, and his memories and experience points are preserved while returning. And that was why Saint thought he automatically returned to the day before his death, and while keeping his memories and experience points. And the secret to becoming a legendary hunter was that's why he should kill the Saintess, and Mr. Flame Emperor just had to, because he was actually poisoned by the Saintess the next day. And even Saint, who was even innocent. Then to end it off, could ask for one last phrase to the viewers, and in the end, those who are destined to succeed will succeed. Saint told Mr. Flame that even if he will succeed, he should not start beef with him. But Flame Emperor told him that he will die, and Saint told him that they will both see the one that will die at a time as a fire outbreak in a house beside his. Saint said they should stop standing around and go put out the fire. The place where Saint lived is different from the outside world, a city built by people who entered the tower to become hunters. The residents of that city are all used to extreme situations like that. Saint thought that it was weird that Saintess is yet to arrive, as she isn't the type of person to be late to an emergency. And one of the city people, which happens to be her friend, said she had something to do that night, and it's probably a date because he have seen her together with the Flame Emperor a lot lately, but Saintess said she doesn't like him, that something about him creeps her out. Flame Emperor asked the city people that who is the one that played with fire without his permission, and Saint knew he has arrived and he was welcomed by the city people. Flame Emperor regarded someone as high in them that as he can see a fire started in the old slums, and will he be able to help them, and asked him what he gained from helping them. Saint called Flame Emperor crazy psychopath because he dares ask for a reward when he is the one who started the fire and also gained the goodwill of the public as the rank one that saved the day, and asked him if he cares about what others think of him. Saint said he doesn't cares about his personality, that he is already a legendary hunter, and he is just stating facts, and it's not like people don't know he is that kind of people. But Flame Emperor told the people that he refused to do charity work, and people took a snap of him and said it is refreshing seeing someone not putting up a front and no one knows. Everyone just thinks of the Flame Emperor as a slightly eccentric hero, and Saint was the only one that knows his true nature as a cold-blooded killer, and he said he need to kill him. The people asked him where he was going because it is dangerous to get close for humanity and for the honor of hunters, because hunters are people who are supposed to hunt monsters regardless of the method. Saint said to people who told him not to go that that monster deserves to be exterminated, and also people told him that he should get his head on straight because he was heading into the fire. Saint entered the fire to meet the Flame Emperor and killed him, but it seems so hot and hurt for him, but he thinks that it is the only way to kill that monster. The system indicates that the Saint has died and that he will return 24 hours back to the past, and which is displayed on Babylon News Reporting Live. The Black Dragon Guild has set out to raid the 14th floor, and good that the skill is working properly because he was indicated that he was currently an F-rank hunter, and there is no penalty for the skill usage. Saint thought that as an F-rank hunter like him, that he doesn't even get a penalty in killing the Flame Emperor, as he was impossible for him, and even if he somehow get lucky and managed to kill him, he will just go 24 hours back to the past since he also possesses that skill as well. And so the only way for a lowly hunter like him is to hunt him, as he was watching an interview regarding Flame Emperor and asked him when was the first time he awakened, and then he replied and said it was this summer. He was 21, and so it has already been 11 years. Then the interviewer said that since he remembered it so clearly that he must have a good memory, but he answered and said that was not necessarily the reason, but it's just that the day he awakened happened to be his birthday. 11 years ago, on June 7th, and so does Saint to calculate it from that day, and that will be 40-50 days, and by dying 40-50 times, he will return to the time before he awakened as he stabbed himself with a sharp knife, and he was indicated immediately that he have died, and he only have 49 days left. He was returning to 24 hours ago as he was stabbing himself, and there is no penalty for the skill usage. He continues stabbing himself, reducing the days, and finally he has 1 day left after stabbing himself. Saint was so happy that he did it by stabbing himself 40-50 times as he came back to a time before the legend of the Flame Emperor began, and that he died 30 times more than the originally planned 40-50, and that is including the time that it took to kill himself, and as well taking breaks here and there. He held on all that time to prove that the legend of that devil is not eternal, as he dressed up to go find his first prey. 11 years ago, on May 6th at 11 a.m., an alarm woke up the Flame Emperor, and he said his head hurts like hell, and he shouldn't have drunk so much last night. To formulate a perfect plan, he repeated that day 10 times and without fail every day as he woke up. I'm in the F-rank dormitory, and it was actually time to work for the Flame Emperor. At 3 p.m., he catches slimes in the second floor hunting ground, and it was boring as hell catching slimes all day every day and thinking about the day he will get to live an awesome life like the Sword Saint. The 21-year-old Saint is just an average F-rank hunter wishing for a golden ticket, and also thought if he could win the lottery or something, or at least get an S-rank skill. But honestly, his wishes would come true a week later, but that kind of future is not coming to a guy like the Flame Emperor anymore, said the Saint. At 5:30 p.m., he said the system should take him to floor 6. Yu Suha decides that he won't get anywhere just catching slimes, and so he moves to a difficult higher area that beginner hunters seldom go to. Moving to the floor 6 hunting grounds, a place where for the next 36 minutes he will be alone, and then he was excused by a saint as he disguised himself and covered himself with bloodstains and told the Flame Emperor to tell him that he got attacked by wolves, that he should give him a potion. But Flame Emperor, who is Yu Suha, told him if he already fucked with the monsters there, and he said there is no means and there is no point in hunting there that day, but Saint still insisted that he should give him potion. Then Flame Emperor said he wouldn't give a potion to fulfill his daily quota, and asked him that how much will he give him for the potion because his hunt's been ruined, and yet he need to give that expensive potion for free and to a stranger that he just met, and accused him of not having morals. Saint said the potion is sold at the alchemy castle for 20 gold, that he will give him 20 gold for it, but Flame Emperor said he doesn't seem to understand the situation there, and because he was on his death's door and yet he only wanted to pay 20 golds and asked him if his life only worth 20 gold. Flame Emperor Yu-Suha knocked his shirt and told him to give him all that he had got so that he should be known already, and he said he wanted to give it to him, but he can't even use his hands, and told him not to worry that he will take it for him and that he was that kind of a person. He picked out his purse and counted 60 gold and accused him of being poor, and he should carry around more money. The sage shouted that that was his entire savings, and the Flame Emperor told him that he should not worry, that he will spend it well, and asked if that is how life works. Then Saint asked for the potion, but he said if he let him go with it, that he might come after him for revenge later and that he need to be able to live without worries, but since he have seen his face that he will not have to worry, and told him to go ahead and die as he pointed a sword to him, as he said he will live without no worries. He was approaching the saint with a sword and attempted to kill him, but the saint used his power to hit him, and the saint said to prevent the 1 in a million chance to his life being threatened that he will make sure to properly send him off. Then he called his name Yu-Suha, having killed him. But there was something weird that bothered him, and asked him why he didn't tell him his name at that moment, and then he said his name is Yu-Suha as he bid him farewell. The saint said he realized it after 40-90 days and called him a bastard, that despite just being a cold-blooded killer, he wanted to pretend that he was a knight in a sacred duel, acting righteous after killing all those innocent people. Then after killing the Flame Emperor, and he was lying on the ground, some wolves came to devour him, and the saint lay on the dead body of the Flame Emperor. The system took the saint to floor 1 as he saw a vigilant corpse, and he said it's over, that no one really knows what happened. The floor 10 raid team was met with another defeat that day, and no criticism of the Sword Saint is growing. And for his refusal to participate in the raid despite being rank 1, and that the terrible legend of Flame Emperor Yu-Suha is no more. Saint asked the manager to give him more beer, and the manager said he was drinking quite a lot and he must have gone well that day, and replied to him happily that it went well. Even though all the hunters from rank 7 to rank 2 went out together to challenge the 10th floor, and there are even some calling it a useless ranking system, Saint cited the open hunter status window as named Kim Gong-Ja with rank F, and he wanted to become just like him, and the returner's winding clock with a passive income, and Kim Gong-Ja said it tastes so sweet by just looking at those precious skills. Then he realized that he doesn't have a combat skill, in which he thought is what they call human greed, and he will regard himself as being shameless if you want more than that, and he said he will think about what is possible with the skills he have got, and that he could win the Merchant Guild, saying Ryan's Lottery, or he could sell the clearing method for the upper floors that no one knows yet, and asked himself what he should do from there. Someone came into the bar shop and requested that he wanted milk, and told them to please mix a little bit of vodka and sugar with warm milk, and he said further that he should be even better if it is honey and not sugar. The attendant said he is sorry that he is not a bartender and thought he is a strange old man. But the old man said he will make sure to pay properly and he should not worry about it. During those times, for the morale of the hunters, there was a lot of public opinion that they needed to cooperate, and asked where the Sword Saint was and what he was doing. According to Babylon Daily, the Sword Saint, whose real name is Marcus, that a lot of people have forgotten him 11 years later, as it has been a long time since his disappearance, but until the Flame Emperor rose to fame and he was the true number 1 of the tower. And Kim Gong-Ja thought that the guy would be the strongest in that time, and he bet that the old man has a lot of S-rank skills and not some weird skill like his, but proper combat ones. And he thought about that the skill will be a copy from any hunter as long as he die to them, and even the skills of the current rank 1, and he said he cannot die now, and which seems quite doable. Saint was checking his phone and found out from an anonymous that the old man was the head of a rich North European family, and it seems no one really knows what skills he has, and apparently, even though he had all the fortune and connections one could ever want, and he abandoned it all to come to the tower. And the anonymous continues that he heard that apparently he has a habit of talking to himself. And Saint said the old man is completely shrouded in mystery and there is no useful information, and they are all rumors. And it would have been great if he was even half that attention whore that Flame Emperor was, and at least the rumors about him talking to himself is true. And does there always have to be something wrong with the rank 1? He also saw it cautious that a word that should never be spoken in front of the Sword Saint, in which it is 100% true story that he witnessed with his own eyes, and if he don't want to die, he should never say that to the Sword Saint. People stopped the old man and said it is a communal hunting ground, and he told him to follow the rules by leaving the ground, and told him that as he can see that they have already claimed the spots as theirs. A few days ago, some high rankers picked a fight with the Sword Saint on the floor 9 hunting grounds. And that is odd for him, as he never heard about such a thing, and the people told the old man that either it's time for him to get some new hearing aids, or he didn't hear it because he is so full of himself. And also looking at him, he bet the grandchildren he left behind must also have shit personalities. The old man drew out his sword as he accused the man that the sword saint committed murder and asked him if he is part of a large guild and if he is spreading bad rumors as well. He told them to think about what he will do and he just wanted to share it, and since he thought those guys should know about it as well, and anyway, if he doesn't want to die, he should not talk about his grandchildren in front of the sword. Then at the bar shop, the old man finished his drinks and thanked the manager and left shop, and the guests at the place was grateful that he left the shop, and they gossiped together and asked if he had Alzheimer's and thought why he was mumbling so much, and they thought he was such a mood killer. He followed him out right away so that he couldn't have gone that far. He found him among many people since he is the only one dressed like that in Babylon, and he is so pretty easy to find. As he said, he wondered what skills he had. Saint said the Flame Emperor had an X-rank returner skill, and so what will the Sword Saint, who should have succeeded even before the Flame Emperor, have? And he thought if the old man had a skill that is even more of a cheat than returning. And as he followed the old man to the forest, and he was caught afterwards that he should come out, and he knew his location right away, and out there no one would know what happened. Then he told him to excuse his rudeness, that he just wanted to ask the Sword Saint for a favor, but the man replied and said that doesn't he do a poor job following him on purpose so that he would notice him? Why is he asking for a favor from a common old man in such a scary manner? And Saint thought that he's misunderstood, that he purposely let him detect him, and he is not particularly armed or anything, but he is holding a sword as if he is about to attack him, even though all he did was to tail him, and that is a convenient situation for him, as the old man said he is quite an amazing actor as expected of a first-class assassin. The old man congratulates Gong-Ja as he can die without insulting his grandchildren. He said further to him how shrewd that he is acting even now, but he can't fool his eyes, but the saint said he is asking because he really doesn't know. And he asked him how he looked like a first-class assassin, and he is actually quite proud of how normal he looks, but he told him to shut up, that he possesses many skills, and among them is a skill that can see how many people one has murdered as justified as it was murder is murder. He said he might know that the person he killed would have become a monster, but it's true that he don't have an excuse to give the people of that time period, but he bet the Sword Saint can see the number 1 on top of his head. Gong-Ja told the Sword Saint, who is the old man, to hear him out, that he did that because he had his reasons, and the man replied and said he discussed him, that he is a devil that has murdered countless people, wants to bring up a reason. The old man said he haven't particularly lived an honest life either, but he at least haven't committed senseless mass murder like him. And he told him that he can clearly tell in the number of people he has murdered on the top of his head as 4091, but Gong-Ja said he has only killed Yu Su-ha once, and he killed himself 40-90 times to get to the past.
And that's how the first part of this manhwa ends. Well guys, if you like this video and you want a second part, comment below with the word part 2. Also subscribe to the channel, hit the bell and like the video. But most important, leave a comment. Until the next video.